Hey everyone, look, we're back. Hayden
Yeah.
Langford, who came back from yesterday from being on a little
Mhm.
vacation, he had a little time off. I've been off for a while. Edward, what's going on, my man? Good to see you. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Peyton, Zach, Josh, stepping up, holding down the fort. We appreciate it so much. And look what we've got coming back
I know. Yeah.
to.
Great way to start.
So we were talking about a winter storm. Winter storm is definitely coming our way. Widespread snow is looking likely. I know some people might be like, hype, yeah, whatever. It really is going to snow.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that it's going to
Definitely.
snow. Now, the amounts, that's still always a question, especially as you get farther north into northwest Arkansas. I feel like there's going to be a dramatic cutoff from
Mhm.
who doesn't see the snow to who does. But let's just go first of all and talk about lake effect snow this morning. Wasn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That was wild. So here's the deal. We had a little small lake effect snow band that developed. A lot of you sent in pictures, a lot of you sent in video. And Josh this morning, along with myself, were like, wait, are these photos from like another storm
Right.
or
Right.
like a different day?
Yeah.
Were they today? Because I look outside, there wasn't a single
No.
snowflake.
Nope.
So what was going on? Well, let's break it down for you and let you know what's happening. So first of all, let's talk about what lake effect snow is and what causes it. We'll begin first of all with a little explainer graphic. So in order to have lake effect snow, you got to have to have a body of water, hence a lake, and you got to have cold air temperatures. Well, we had the cold land and we had the cold air, which was about 20 degrees. The warm water, 40 degrees happening over Beaver Lake. That's what the average temperature was. There were some locations in the upper 30s, some in the lower 40s, but on average, it was about 40 degrees. So that warm water with cold air flowing over the warm water leads to moisture and an increase in condensation. That condensation forms clouds, and those clouds spread over the
Mhm.
area. And lo and behold, you've got lake effect snow bands. Just like what you see, it creates banding of precipitation. Now, why didn't we see it on the radar?
Well, because we're so far from radars that the beam height, by the time it gets here, is 6,000+ feet up in the air.
Yeah,
So the snow bands were below that, so they didn't show up at all.
we're
So this really caught us off guard.
quite a ways below it. And
Yeah.
this isn't the first time that I've seen Beaver Lake snow, lake effect snow. We've also seen lake enhanced snow. But I want to show you this as we go back to the weather graphics here. So essentially, some places look like this, a winter wonderland. Maybe
Mhm.
not that much snow. That's a
Right.
little bit of an exaggeration. But how can this happen over Beaver Lake? Well, you have to have flow cold air over a long time over that body of water, because if it's just over a little small area of the lake, it's not going to be enough. So in order to get that lake effect snow, you can see that Beaver Lake is actually pretty elongated, especially if you are having that airflow from the northeast. And lo and behold, our airflow today was actually from the northeast. And I'll show you that here in just a little bit. So if you have a northeasterly flow, you're going to be having that cold air over the warm body of water longer, which is going to lead to that lake effect snow potential. Now, this is a view looking southwest, so we're actually following the wind, if you will. Lake temperature 40 degrees, air temperature of about 20. And there you see that flow. And look where that's pointed, right at northern
Mhm.
Fayetteville, southern Springdale. And here, by the way, if you'll see on the left hand side of your screen, there's Lake Fayetteville. So, Brian Empfinger, storm chasing extraordinaire, got this
Yeah.
amazing video. We'll put this into motion. This is on photojournalist Brian Empfinger. Check this out. Pretty impressive with that. Now, this is not the dusting from Sunday. This is a different snow event. Now the roads are already at this point kind of treated, but boy, you can really see the banding
Mhm.
with these videos. And notice the clearing sky too, just above those clouds. That's
Yeah.
pretty crazy. And you can really see that snow coming down. And notice how it's kind of banded. This is Highway 71, by the way. You're going to see Lake Fayetteville on the left-hand side of your screen as he's taking his drone. And look at the pockets of sunshine, too. The visible satellite, by the way, detected that, which is really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. That's kind of how we found it.
So essentially, the atmosphere is getting its moisture wrung out, and that's why those clouds are clearing out. Where the snow happens, it essentially basically soaks up all the moisture, and essentially sinking air causes a lack of clouds, and that cloud cover kind of disappears. It evaporates, if you will. So look at that. You can see that banding, and look at the snow amounts. It's a winter wonderland. That is really wild. So we'll continue to play this video a little longer. Then we'll show you a picture from Joel Haskins. Isn't that cool, though? You can really see the effects. Now we're starting to approach Lake Fayetteville, Highway 71B, and that's where the snow is really coming down.
Yeah, it's like we're in like Ohio or like Buffalo.
Yeah.
Get the lake effect snow all the time.
Okay, there's Lake Fayetteville, Highway 71. You got Lewis and Clark, which the old Lewis and Clark place right there,
Yeah.
and there you see the baseball fields, and look at the snow that's coming down. So no, this was not now. This was from this morning at about 10 o'clock in the morning. So that was a very small localized area. And again, you would look at this and go, no way was this morning, but it was, in fact. So there you go. Lake effect snow bands. You can really see the banding here. Brian captured it beautifully. And then you can start to see them clear out too. So that's looking north. At the same time, there's also something called diamond dust. And diamond dust is where you have a water vapor that turns to a solid with the phases, which is called deposition. Deposition is essentially diamond dust, where you get snowflakes that fall out of the clear blue sky. So I got to show you this real quick, and then of course we're going to get on to the meat of the
yeah,
forecast,
what everyone's wondering,
which is Thursday. But I just had to show you this. Let's go to our let's go to our pictures here. Now this is the road conditions before it started to melt. That's covered, man.
Yeah.
And there were some accidents too. So lake effect snow from Beaver Lake. Who would have thought it? So finally, let's look at the airflow from this morning. And lo and behold, look at what we had for the current winds at 7 o'clock in the morning. Look at the flow going right over Beaver Lake. This is why I love these wind streams so much. These wind particles really let you know the weather story. Yeah. And there's that cold air flowing over 40-degree water temperatures, which leads to moisture increase. Now, as you know, lake effect snow happens downstream of the lake, which is exactly what happened. There was some light snow flurries on the north side of the lake, which is essentially from the diamond dust. So anyways, really cool stuff. That's how it happened. And enough of that. People are like, what's happening on Thursday? All right, let's get into it. First of all, before we do that, let's go over some questions here real quick and some comments. How about Edward says, I miss this type of weather. Honestly, would rather have this than 110-degree heat. That's a personal opinion because I don't know. I don't like the 110-degree heat either, but
maybe not 110, but yeah, 80s.
Not a huge fan of winter weather, especially with the outdoor backyard, the preparation,
yeah, a lot of
all that stuff. I'm not having my pool freeze over. So Kenzie said, just to update road conditions, but water line break in Farmington causing issues with ice on the roads.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
That's not good. Kenzie, thanks for that report. That might be something we have to pass along.
Yeah. What road?
Yeah. Let me know in Farmington. Is that 62? Highway 62, essentially?
Probably.
Because if it is, that's the main road right there. That's an issue.
That'd be pretty bad.
Okay, need the snow, but after Lifeway plays Decatur Thursday in basketball. So it's not going to be after. We're going to get to the timing here in just a bit. I am going to say the Canadian models are interesting, Alex. The Canadian is a cold weather fan. There's no doubt about that. It typically always errs on the colder side. There wasn't just snow in Fayetteville. There was flurries in Huntsville and Marble this morning. Yeah, Brandon. And that was not just the lake effect snow, but that was that diamond dust that was occurring. So some of it was those clouds are very thin, but it was so cold that it was squeezing out that moisture. And yeah, Larry, we were actually talking about that. Peyton, you can elaborate more on that fire. The fire is bad in California.
Yeah, they've been really dry. This is like just north of LA, like towards like Malibu. in the Palisades, and it kind of started with this system. This system fueled some winds, some very strong winds over that area. Which, if you know anything about wildfires, it helps spread them crazy. Hence the term "spread like wildfire."
Mhm.
So those spread pretty bad, and I think the coverage right now is a little over 400 acres, but just absolutely engulfing neighborhoods up there, which is crazy. Pretty
Yeah,
sad.
yeah, absolutely. Someone said Greenland got hit too with oh, is that the freeze, the pipes? Yeah, I mean it's cold everywhere,
Mm.
so for sure. Sarah's watching. Cool. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah Redmond. And it's good to be back, by the way. Had a nice little vacation with the family and got to go to Florida, which was the Arctic for Florida. That is 40
Mm.
degrees and 50s and 60s. Wasn't super warm, but
Oh,
uh,
Main Street by the Come and Go. Like you
okay.
said.
All right.
Yeah,
Main Street Farmington, right by the Come and Go Road, is a sheet of ice. That a water main break in the cold, that's no bueno right there.
I think that is just
Yeah.
off 62. Sorry, I
Yeah.
feel like I see that gas station all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Uh, Northwest Arkansas will likely be a dusting. I'm not stressing it in Bentonville. Well, we'll get to that as well. All right. So, what part of Florida? We were in Orlando. So, as a matter of fact, not only were we um, going to Orlando in the cold, but also, too, you heard about Miss Teen Arkansas. Well, her coaches and her family and the boyfriend side of the family was on the plane with us as they were flying down. So, I just thought
that's
that
so
was
funny.
it's just
Yeah.
I know it's just like unique, but congratulations to Peyton for winning that, and I know they were all excited on the way back because we were on the same flight as well. All right, enough of that. Enough of my personal life. Let's get to the winter storm watch. So here's the deal: we got a winter storm watch that's in effect for basically, you ready for this? All of Arkansas, except for the little northwest corner of Arkansas. Could this possibly get upgraded to a winter storm watch over the area and maybe even a winter storm warning?
Hmm.
It's possible. I mean, anything's possible. I think that the lightest totals will definitely be in the northwest corner of the state as of now. And that is because of our track of the system. Track of the system is going to be favorable for snow across southern Arkansas. We'll get into that. We'll get into the timing. But you'll notice here that this will probably be filled in with a winter weather advisory. We will see snow. It just won't
Yeah.
be as much. So a winter storm watch for any areas that are in the blue shaded area. This will get upgraded to a winter storm warning by tomorrow afternoon because it'll be less than 24 hours before this storm hits. Winter weather advisory will likely be coming out for Northwest Arkansas by tomorrow. But if we look at the winter storm severity index, so this is something that the Weather Prediction Center um, puts out to kind of show the impacts of events, essentially. And so if we look at this, this is the winter storm severity index. Minor impacts is where you have kind of a little bit of a impact to daily life, but not necessarily major. You got major impacts that are in central Arkansas and moderate impacts in the river valley. And there's actually a specific scale for this. And we actually have a graphic for that, but I don't think we need to really get into that. But the heaviest snow is going to likely be across central and south Arkansas. Look at that. Even some areas where I don't get this Magnolia area, that's kind of weird that shows,
Yeah, I don't get that.
minor impacts, but maybe this is going to be more of like a rain turning into sleet
Yeah, but
and
El
then it kind of
Dorado,
clears out.
Camden, Fordyce,
That could be an ice storm
Bearden.
potentially. Could
Oh,
be
yeah.
some sleet and
Pretty good.
ice that's falling there. But for here, it's going to be mostly snow. So why is this? Well, check this out. This is a massive system. This is a large system. And not only is it a large system, but Peyton and I were looking, there is a kicker system that's coming in. You can see it on the water vapor right there at the end. Man, is that thing going to rip. So you got this low pressure system that's developing. That's going to dig southward, essentially kick this big giant low to the east. And then that's going to make it kind of merge and move quicker. Now, this system is still digging. This is a large low. Digging means that the winds are faster basically upwind of the low pressure system. So you have faster winds on the backside of it compared to on the front side of it. So what that does is that causes the system to strengthen and drop south, which, by the way, means that the track is going to be most likely farther south. We can actually look at this when we look at the water vapor and the vorticity. Vorticity is going to be the big thing. So check this out. This is the system. A lot of spin, Peyton.
Oh yeah.
A lot of spin. But remember that kicker system is coming in too. And so here you're starting to see it. Did you see it dive in from the northwest? There's the kicker system. Watch that again as that dives in. You're seeing your Billings, and then it drops south. Now, the European is probably strongest with this kicker system, which means that the snow is only going to last through Friday late morning. Then it starts to move out. But this is a big system that's going to pull abundant amount of moisture. And then here's someone says, I heard it's coming from the southwest. I've always heard watch out if they come from the southwest. And you know why that is, Sarah? Because that has more moisture to work with. So the more moisture, the more precipitation. Well, let's look at the, and then there's another system coming in, but it's going to be most likely dry, but still bring some cooler weather. So here's the future track model for the European. We'll go through all the models, we'll go through all the timing, but here you see at 10 o'clock in the morning, precipitation that starts to begin to develop. This becomes pretty widespread by the early afternoon. Now look at the size of this system. You've got sleet and you've got basically some freezing rain that's happening in Dallas. You've got mainly snow across eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas, southwest Arkansas. Watch this as we go throughout Thursday night. It starts to spread out over the area all the way throughout Thursday night into Friday morning. That is a large precipitation shield. So who gets the heaviest snow? It's where the banding really starts to develop from what we call a deformation zone, which will probably be over just north of the low in South Arkansas. That's going to be the heaviest snow.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we don't get any snow. But you'll see that precipitation over Fayetteville. And then watch this. By Friday late morning, that kicker system kicks it out pretty quick. Memphis is going to get a lot of snow. We'll take a look at some of the totals. But then here's the system that comes in on Sunday. It just brings some colder weather, a little bit of a cold blast, and then we start to warm up during the afternoon on Monday as we get above freezing. So that is the European model. GFS, what happens? Maybe a little slower. So let's start it off at what I mean by slower is how fast it gets kicked out. So let me show you this full screen. Here's the GFS model. 6 a.m., not much happening. Then as we roll into our 6 o'clock in the late morning into the early afternoon, look at that precipitation that starts to develop right there already by about 10, 11 o'clock. So definitely some widespread precipitation that's going to be developing across southeast Arkansas, southwest Arkansas, southeast Oklahoma. And then we got more precipitation that's developing. Here you see 3 o'clock, widespread precipitation. Notice, though, northwest Arkansas not quite getting it yet.
Mm-hmm. Not until a little bit later.
Do you believe that?
Nope, I think it's too far south. I think the track of the low is too far south.
I think so, too. Yeah, I do, too. I think precipitation at 3 o'clock will be ongoing in northwest Arkansas. Remember, there's so many of those little spins in the atmosphere, too much energy for it not to produce anything. Now, by Thursday night, we're going snow. That's a given. There's no doubt about that. Then you see more widespread precipitation that develops, and this is midnight. Now watch as we go into the early morning hours. That low is still cranking.
Still there, man. Jeez.
The GFS is slower because the European by 6 a.m. was already on the back edge of the precipitation shield. 1 o'clock still shows snow. And then finally, by the late morning, into the early afternoon, that storm system starts to move out. But look at that. That still lingers throughout Friday evening. And why is that? Well, that's because the kicker system on the GFS isn't as strong. Now, me personally, I kind of believe the European on this. And there's good reason is because you look at the vorticity and you can already see it. So let's go to Let's go to the GFS and look at this here. Why was that the jet stream? That's strange. Anyways,
Yeah.
here's the vorticity and spin for the GFS. Now, why does it stick around longer? Well, look, there's that kicker system that's dropping south, but look, it's a whole lot slower. And
Because it's getting blocked in by a ridge building to the east,
and
according
then
to the model.
yeah, and then look at that. That is just a lot of energy over us. Man, what a system. You know what? You haven't missed anything because we haven't gone through accumulation yet. So we're just saving that for those that really want to watch the latest. So now you'll see here by Saturday, obviously that system is long gone. Okay, one more thing I want to show you before we get into accumulations. So here's Thursday morning. Nothing happening Friday. Nothing happening Wednesday.
This is a high resolution model to clarify. We were showing long range, low resolution models, but now we'll take a look at high resolution model data.
Which, by the way, is a little bit better in terms of precipitation amounts, the precipitation shield, how much is going to develop. So here's 7 o'clock in the morning, and look at that precipitation starting to knock on the doorstep of LaFleur County and Scott County. Now, look at this. By lunchtime, we're already seeing precipitation. Remember, it's cold enough where this is probably going to fall as mostly all snow initially. Now, why does the HRRR show that little bit of rain that pops up? Why do you think that is?
Well, wanted to be above freezing.
Well, yeah, but I know that, but do you believe it?
No, not really. I think we'll already had that cold air well in place, and I don't really believe that rain. Maybe a little bit of sleet.
Sometimes a little sleet on the leading edge.
Yeah.
I think there could be a little bit of sleet on the leading edge. That typically does happen. It doesn't just immediately start as snow everywhere. Right on the leading edge, you can still have a little bit of that sleet. But then, as you'll see here at noon, boy, that system is starting to crank. Now, here is Thursday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Widespread precipitation. And then that is as long as the model goes out until, according to this graphic, it goes out till 10 o'clock. It does go out a little longer, but that's a lot of precipitation. So,
yeah.
Michelle, kids having school probably will be an early release for the
Yeah.
River Valley, I think, because there won't be anything going on in the morning. But I think early release is looking likely for the River Valley Thursday early afternoon. All right.
Maybe.
What?
Maybe. I mean, if the snow starts in the late morning, early afternoon,
That's going to be a problem
then
for the buses.
we might start to see impacts a little too late. Like it'll be like a little bit too late.
Possibly, but you got to remember we're below freezing, and there's not
Yeah.
going to be a whole lot of melting.
Yeah.
On the roads. I don't know. It's just it all also depends on the amount of the snow rates too.
Like Kansas will together.
They could. We'll see. Okay, so by the way, we did not make those decisions.
No.
So here's the individual models, okay? This is where things get interesting. So let's check this out. The graph model. Not a lot for Northwest Arkansas.
No.
I think it's underdone in terms of the afternoon and evening precipitation. But one thing you will notice is a dramatic, sharp cutoff. We'll look at the Canadian, Alex. I know you're a Canadian fan, or especially with this system, but we'll look at it. 2.5 in the River Valley, and then you get farther south. That includes Little Rock and areas even farther south. That is some pretty impressive snow totals. If we look at the European, guess what? It also shows pretty impressive snow totals. The Little Rock has 9.3.
Jeez.
And there's some areas that pick up more than that. The Washitas, as well as, like areas of Western Arkansas, really going to get slammed with this system. GFS has a little more snow now over the entire area. So it's got that longer precipitation area. Yeah. And then finally, the NAM, that seems reasonable, but I think a little low on the end in the River Valley.
It's called the never accurate model.
Yeah, but it does. Look at how we zoom back out. All of them show that bullseye of the heaviest snow across South Central Arkansas,
Yeah.
and not necessarily here because it's all about the track. So here is our totals, all right, our preliminary totals. Peyton and I looked at this. We agree. Let's go ahead and we'll zoom in on this and we'll show you. Never acting model. That's hilarious. Never accurate, too. Yeah. Never accurate model. So here's our snow totals. And I know you might be going, oh, we're only getting 1 to 2. Well, honestly, it could be more if the track of the system is more. But you'll see 1 to 2, Bentonville, Springdale, Bella Vista. Then you work your way south. Some places could pick up close to 4 inches. Remember, we got higher elevations. We got Madison County, we got Newton County. These are areas that will pick up faster snowfall rates. They're higher up. It'll take less for that to accumulate. Therefore, you got heavier amounts. Now, where the snow really will start to pick up is in the River Valley. This is along and south of I-40. You see Fort Smith, Greenwood, Boonville, Poto, Waldron. These are all areas that are going to pick up quite a bit of snow. And then you've got the southern Scott County, LaFleur County. And keep in mind, this can be adjusted. There's no doubt that these could change. So I don't think 8 plus is possible. So Joey says, I've lived in Dallas for 25 years, never saw 12 plus. What's your call on Dallas, and why would they have so much more? Boy, 12 plus is a stretch for them.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch.
That sounds like some hype forecasting, in my opinion.
But I definitely think they'll see.
They will see some snow, but I think there's also going to be some
good amount of
icing
snow.
there, too.
Yeah, good amount of snow, some ice too.
That's a good question, Cheryl. I don't think so. At the track of the low, the nose of the dry punch is going to be too far south, in my opinion. Now, someone brought it up too. Where was that? Someone brought up, which means that someone knows a lot about winter weather. Aha! Jeremy. Jeremy knows a lot about winter weather. I'm in Mulberry, getting pretty excited for this winter storm. I just hope the dry slot stays away because we know what the dry slot is. If you don't, let me show you what it is. So the dry slot is an area of dry air that develops on the southwest side of the storm. Now here, you will notice right here, that orange shaded area. This is the dry slot, and the leading edge or the nose of the dry slot right here is where you would see your convection. This is where your thunder snow would occur, or your thunder sleet if you have that type of environment. Right here, the giant low developing right at the nose of that, you can actually see where that precipitation gets the heaviest. Well, if this track of the low, which is expected to track more across the south, so probably not that far south. Let me delete this here. There we go. So here's our low. Notice how it's still digging somewhat. It starts to eject by tomorrow. And I think that track of the low is going to be basically right about here. What do you think, Peyton? Does that look about right? Maybe a little farther north?
Yeah, that's all right.
If it's right here, which doesn't seem feasible, but still possible, that would be heavier snow for Northwest Arkansas. That would be an ideal track, what we call a Red River Rider, where a roll falls right along the Red River and then curves north. Because remember, that's exactly where you would get the nose of the dry punch too, would be located right around in here, right where the heaviest snow would be. But with this system, and you can still see, look at the digging that's occurring. So this system is still kind of dropping south a little bit, but by tomorrow, it's going to eject and kick east. So, all right, let's see here. Any chance it shifts north and brings more snow into Benton County, Jeremy? Absolutely. In fact, typically a couple of days out, to be honest with you, models are typically too far south on the track.
Oh, yeah.
And what happens over time, and people that watch winter weather and weather forecasting, they notice that that track of the low is trending farther and farther north. Now, I don't think it's going to trend so far north that southwest Missouri gets hit heavily. Still get some snow. Bella Vista will probably get around, I think, 2 inches, 1 to 2 inches. Looks to be most likely. My mom has to go to Dallas for cheer this weekend. So Do not leave Thursday, Michael. That is a terrible idea. I would leave over the weekend if they have to leave this weekend. Friday evening, the roads will be treated and things will get a lot better, in my opinion. Let's look at a let's look at this. I'm gonna have to resurrect some snow totals and some snow graphics, but why is Dallas calling for a foot? That just seems like a lot, in my opinion.
Yeah, a little much.
What do you think? You think it's
As-
possible, or you think they're just
I
overboard?
think there'll be a lot of ice. But as far as leaving for this weekend, Wednesday, if you could.
Tomorrow? That would be
Oh.
best, huh?
Yeah,
That's tomorrow.
yeah, that's crazy.
yeah.
But this weekend, early Saturday morning. But even that sounds like it stinks.
Here, let's look at this. This might still not be updated yet. Let me get that heavy snow off of there. Well, maybe that's why they're calling for a foot. Let's see. So, yeah, let me bring this up. Good thing I didn't have that up at the time. So, anyways, let me set that selection. We won't save it, but yeah, so it already has snow starting Thursday morning. And then there's the snow that really starts to come down.
Huh.
And I think I have the
That's
totals
like,
off of there.
That is the 12 to 16 contour. Maybe up towards like Sherman and Denison.
That still is way too borderline to call for that. Maybe the models are showing that, but look at where the snow band really starts to materialize.
Jeez.
Why isn't that continuous observation data? Okay, so that's the snow for the European. Let's look at the GFS here.
Emily leaving Friday morning for Big Cedar. Not a good idea.
Nope. I know
Southern
that
Ford
Big
County.
Cedar's a good idea, but not for that.
Right.
Especially 65. That's going to be not good stuff. Okay, so here, this actually has the snow totals on there. So let's look. Here's Dallas. Yeah, a foot seems like a stretch, in my opinion. Boy. Now,
That looks very weird.
Here's the thing. This looks weird, and I tell you why it looks weird. Because it's not snow depth. We can't show snow depth on our graphics. We can show snow totals, which takes all this precipitation and converts it to snow. And while most of it will fall as snow, there still will be a little bit of a mix, and that's going to cut down on the totals. Someone also asked a good question. Why are the models so much different in terms of snow totals, especially the graph? Remember, the snow totals are just an output of what the model is showing. So if we look at this, this is the graph, which is a model that we have through our weather graphics system. And you're going to notice here, yeah, widespread precipitation comes in, but then look at this. It just kind of kills it as it moves in. Now, maybe this knows about the Colby effect. it's a possibility. This is why your snow totals are a lot less for Northwest Arkansas. And the problem is that we have to be cautious because this could essentially happen. And if that does happen, then this snowstorm is a big dud for us. It's not for LaFleur and Scott County, though. Look, it still impacts them pretty good. So when we go back to these totals, here's the reason why those totals are so little with the graph, which I think is underdone. The Fayetteville Fizzle is real, and this is the one showing over 5.5, which is different from what you mentioned. It is, and the reason I think it's a little underdone is because it's not getting that kicker system enough.
Right.
Big Cedar. Can you post the timing? That's a good question. And we will. We'll do that. So we got two things that we can show for the timing. We will show the timing for the river valley. So this is where the snow is going to begin earlier. Now we have to adjust. The model started adjusting it at the end, so we'll have to tweak that. But as you can see, 7 a.m., not out of the question that precipitation starts. There's absolutely nothing tomorrow, but by Thursday morning, things start going downhill a little bit, as you can see.
Yeah, 9, 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
Definitely be going
precipitation starts moving in.
by 11 o'clock for sure. Then really ramping up into the afternoon time frame.
And Thursday evening, too.
Yep.
Thursday evening is going to be the word. The evening commute's going to be a mess. Now, here's Northwest Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas, not as much at 9, 10, 11 o'clock, but still possible. But then it really ramps up, and then the model kind of tries to mess around with it. We'll adjust that. We'll tweak that on our app. Let's see here. When does it start? Oh, we showed that when it started in Northwest Arkansas. Ozark Mountains mess with the models. Absolutely. I've always wondered this. How does a model pick up on a systems a whole week before it happens? It just doesn't seem possible. It's a good question.
Well, because all the atmosphere is and weather is just troughs and ridges. And, well, there's some other stuff in there as well. But it just kind of takes those and takes other initial conditions, ingredients, plugs them into a bunch of formulas that run out over time, and that can give you a new position. And so you do that again and again and again, and you can pick up on systems this far out and see what they can output. But because it's so far out, like a week out, not really accurate.
Yeah. In terms of getting those fine scale details. And I gotta say this. I'm gonna for just a couple minutes, I'm gonna get on my soapbox. Oh, yeah, no, I'm good. You can just have a sit right here. So here's the deal. We got 1,200 people that are on here. Social media and the engagement and the clicks and the likes is almost becoming a drug for some people. So I've got an issue with this. I've got a major issue with this because people are going to post stuff such as the 1 foot snow totals a week out. You know why? Because it gets engagement and it gets clicks and it gets likes, and that's what people thrive off of. It's almost like a drug. It's almost like heroin that they need. They need that engagement. And the problem is that there's no accountability for what people post.
Nope. They can just post it.
They can just post it. Oh, it didn't happen. It's on to the next thing, and it's absolutely frustrating. But here's the thing. It also affects our job because then we've got our own managers that are asking about something that's a week out. That's like, hey, what about this system? Which, by the way, Sunday's system brought a little bit of light snow. Was it a major deal? No, it wasn't. No. There were some slippery spots. There was some accidents. There were some accidents. There was a little bit of issue. But remember, a week out, it looked like there was going to be a tornado outbreak on Christmas for us. Well, it didn't happen. It was farther south. So this is why we don't post a week out. And I'm never going to get into this game. I don't care if I have the least engagement on social media. I can't stand this. And it frustrates me to no end. There's times when you should post something like, hey, we're watching a weather pattern. It looks like it could bring something a week out. You can do that. Do you post the specifics? I don't, but other people do. And when other people do, then what they're going to do is they're going to get clicks and engagement, and it just fuels the fire.
But nobody calls them out when they're wrong.
Nobody calls them out when they're wrong. Nobody says anything different. And there's some people that are out there that are doing this, that are professionals, that are doing it because they get the engagement. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
And it's like
I'm not going to be a part of it.
Post, oh, hype. Oh, you're wrong. Dude, what?
Yeah.
It hasn't even happened yet.
Exactly. So it's all about this engagement. I kind of wish likes and stuff, all that wasn't even a part of engagement. You see it. If you see it, great. If you don't, you don't. Yes, I would agree. That is absolutely true. But you know what? he's laughing all the way to the bank because that's why he's getting this engagement. But at a time, there should be some accountability. There should be some issues with this.
Right.
There should be some repercussions. There should be some basically some penalties for calling out a system and then putting out something that the models show 10 days out in advance, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
They need to be called out.
But Brendan, we're not getting mad at you. No, we're just talking about social media in general. I know you were asking a legit question about how computer models work and pick up a system. That's what I was explaining. I have a weather blog explaining computer models, but Dan's popping off right now. He's cooking.
Yeah, I am cooking because when it gets to a point that the manager's saying, "Hey, what about this snowstorm that's coming in 10 days?" I'm like, "Well, wait a minute." But you know what? The Weather Channel does it too. Everybody's guilty of it. Do you? And it's like if I don't post something, I don't get any engagement. So then it doesn't hit your timelines, and then people don't even know about it.
Doesn't reach the algorithm.
Look at this. 18 U.S. Code 2074.
Wow.
However, known the issues any counterfeit weather forecast falsely representing such forecast, the United States signal or branch government shall be fined under this entitlement or imprisoned for 90 days or both. Now, that would be great if they enforce it, but they don't. Now, granted, in real time, severe weather events, I remember we had some people that were on here that also, gave false weather reports in real time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I was just like, how are they reporting softball size hail when they were a half hour ago, 2 hours away from the location of the storm? It didn't make sense. So people should get a ticket. Yeah, they should get a social media ticket, or maybe lose some of their engagement, or the algorithm hits them and removes some of their posts. But I just want you to know I'm not playing that game. So, and there is a point to not always being first. I would rather be more accurate than first.
Right. Hence why we're the most accurate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. And not only we're the most accurate in Northwest Arkansas,
we are
the most accurate.
Most accurate.
Yeah. That's that's given. Currently, we'll keep our mouths shut because the weather can humble us pretty quick.
We're coming for you, Todd.
All right, back to this estimated snowfall totals. This is our computer model forecast. This is our essentially looking at all the computer models. This is what we're going with. Yes, widespread snow, 1 to 2 inches across southwest sections of Missouri. Our northern counties in Northwest Arkansas, 1 to 2. Now, you might get more than 2 inches. Keep in mind, snowfall is like rain. It can vary in such a short distance.
I mean, look at could get a little less.
Yeah.
Than 1 inch.
And it's all about how the banding develops. It's all about how the precipitation develops. It's just basically kind of showing you a widespread precipitation. So tonight, this is our low temperature in the mid to upper teens. We're going to be clear, but some high clouds will be rolling in. Yes, there will be sunshine, but we will have filtered sunshine tomorrow.
What's our temperature right now? I'm sure we're even colder than 13 degrees, probably at Drakefield.
Let's look here. Let's see where we're at.
Because those temperatures are falling. Our low temperature for the day.
18 right now 18. At Fayetteville. Yeah, here's the 2-day forecast timeline just to show you what our temperatures are expected to do. So, yeah. 18 and 16 at about 1 o'clock in the morning. And there you see the precipitation starting to move in. Yeah, and we don't, we're not hyping this. This will be impactful for River Valley. It will be minorly impactful for Northwest Arkansas. Any little bit of snow in this area can cause issues. So I do believe that the winter storm is coming. Winter weather advisory is coming for Northwest Arkansas. Here you see the 70-80%. So have I been talking about it before? No, but my wonderful weather team has, because I've been off. So just to let you know, there is a weather blog. You can go to that by going to KNWA, our website, nwahomepage.com. And let's see, it's also on our weather app as well. So
yeah, just pushed it out not too long ago. Just quick little read, kind of summarize everything.
Yeah.
Just get you caught up in the know. If you didn't know, now you know.
Hey, Do you think we'll see schools closing early in Northwest Arkansas Thursday afternoon? At the point right now, what I see it in terms of the timing, I don't think Thursday afternoon will be bad enough to close school for Northwest Arkansas. Now, keep in mind, models don't handle precipitation perfectly. So this could be developing by late Thursday morning at the earliest, which I think is a little too much.
An early
But,
release does not sound like it's out of the question. Like that sounds like a good feasible answer, especially by tomorrow. If it looks like we will likely see impacts on the roads, because it usually takes maybe about an hour to start to see impacts on the roadways. If we see snow on the models in Northwest Arkansas by the late morning, they'll probably do like an early release
yeah,
for Thursday.
River Valley early release looks pretty likely.
Pretty likely.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe they'll cancel. Ahead.
Canceling not a bad idea, especially for like over towards like Greenwood and like Barling. Those areas will likely see impacts a little bit more.
This is total
So,
clear air mode right here, by the way. It looks like there's a bunch, but hit play and see if that's just spreading out.
Yeah, it's just
see how it's not
the
even moving.
mountains.
So you know what that is? That's the radar reflecting off of the mountains. It's called super refraction.
But point being, south of I-40, cancellations seem possible. I don't know all the logistics that go into that.
Isn't that kind of cool? Look, there's
Yeah.
Kavanaugh Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go here, there you see it.
Because it's only 1,300 feet, and that's
so
higher than
the
that.
density change and the temperature drop causing a greater density in the atmosphere is taking that radar beam, and what it does is it bends it towards the ground. And so the radar beam goes out, and instead of it going out straight, it's bending it into the ground, called super refraction, which takes the beam, bends it into the ground, and it bounces off this mountain. See, watch, when we put it into motion, you see it just kind of sitting there. Here's another mountain top that the radar beam is hitting. And if we take off the radar, there you see it. And then we go down here into, there's Poto, there's Panama. Here is, look at this, the Washitas. On the tips of the Washitas, it's picking up the radar. And then here's Mount Magazine. That is cool.
You see this a lot, of course, out in West Texas with all the wind turbines, but you also see this in Louisiana quite a bit because there's so much moisture, and you can see traffic actually.
Yeah.
Some of the highways on I-10.
You can kind of see it right here. Look.
Yeah.
See those higher returns? That's probably a little bit of traffic right on the interstate, just like what you were saying. See that, how it follows it? Look. That's cool. I think that definitely is it. You don't?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was trying to imagine who's on the roads at this time.
Oh. There's still always
trucks.
There's always, a lot of trucks. And then you get farther away from the radar, and that disappears because the radar can't make it any farther because it's hitting the ground and bending back. But look, all these are little mountain ridges, which, by the way, shows you our terrain is very complicated in Northwest Arkansas. So, and in the River Valley, which is why snow totals can totally vary. Are the radar beams in the sky? Our radar beams in the sky or on the ground?
So
bouncing off fire ant. This is someone's bouncing off the fire ant mounds in LA or in Louisiana or the termite hills.
Yeah.
In Africa. Those termite hills can get huge, man. It is wild. All right. Historically, Springdale has been bad on releasing students for weather. Ice Storm 2001, for example. Well, here's the deal, Bradley. I've got a direct connection to the superintendent of Springdale, and he does contact me about winter weather and releases. So, yeah.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
Well, man, I'll just, yeah.
You can make a call if you wanted to.
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. But, yeah. I'll just say let's just say, what's the name of the baseball team? The Indians.
Not the Indians anymore.
I know, but they were
Yeah, the Cleveland
the
Indians.
Cleveland Indians. Oh, you're right, Dr. Jerry Cleveland. All right, spring will be bad again this year. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Planning to go to Branson on Friday. So let's
Yeah.
answer this question. A lot of people asking about Branson.
Branson Friday.
We'll go an hour on this Facebook Live. So Branson Friday. I think, yeah. There's definitely going to be some snow falling early Friday morning. Even the European model has this. Let's zip in here and show you. So there's Branson. Yeah. Definitely think that's enough snow to be a problem in Branson. I personally think so.
You have to use extra caution on the roadways.
This doesn't show anything.
4-wheel drive. Probably, you probably be better, but just take it real easy.
Look at that. This model only goes out to 10 o'clock. You know what? We could bring up another rate. Let's bring up the other model. You want to do that?
The what model?
Just the HRRR, not through WSI.
Oh, because it'll have the full thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't disappear.
Yep.
Let's see here. Before I load this, let me make sure. But I guess that just goes to. Yeah, it is the full thing.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a large area precip. Yeah, let me bring this up real quick to show you.
Texarkana, man. The queen.
So here is.
Heavy stuff.
So there's 15Z, 16, 17, 18. That, by the way, is
Thursday afternoon.
Yep.
Now.
That's noon right there. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, and look at that heavy precipitation that's coming in from the southwest. That's a big time snowfall that could be developing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here's this is a strong system. It's going to bring a bunch of stuff. Kenzie, yeah, I think there could be a little bit of sleet, but it's going to be mostly snow. There might be a little bit of a sleet,
Just a start.
just at the leading edge, just in the initial stages. You know what? We haven't looked at the Canadian. Let's look at the
You
Canadian.
do that on.
Yeah, I could do that
Weatherbell.
on. I'll do that on Weatherbell. That'd be better too. Let's look at the Canadian here. Right there. And let's look at, hopefully, unless it doesn't have snow depth. It doesn't. Oh, well. I never liked these Kuchera snow totals because they're always like 2 inches over what they should be.
Probably using the wrong Kuchera ratio.
But here you go. Oof. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. That seems overdone.
8 inches?
Yeah,
9 inches?
9 inches.
Northwest Arkansas?
Yeah, that seems
Oh
overdone.
my goodness.
Yeah.
I think if you take all of that and then shift it south by a few hundred miles.
Now this track of the low is a lot more north. Wow, look at that. So this is all sleet. This is snow. This is widespread snow. Now, but here's the deal. Let's look at this. Why is that happening? Well, let's check it out. Let's see if it actually is legit. So let's go to United States, continental United States. Let's look at the vorticity. and let's see if it looks legit or if it doesn't. Okay, so here's the low that's coming in, and then here's the kicker system. So the kicker system isn't diving straight south like the European
It's a little
shows
bit
it.
further east.
It's a little bit further east, which is going to cause it to block. And then it's a lot slower. Yeah, look at that. Then it takes the low straight north almost. That doesn't look, some doesn't look right there.
It does look very similar, as Alex was saying, to the GFS.
Well, let's see. We'll take a look at the GFS and make sure we're still on the right thing. Yep. Okay, let's get off of your comment here. So that's the Canadian. So let's look at the GFS. Same thing. There's the kicker system dropping south. That drops a little more southerly. And then it kind of absorbs the low. Now that low right there is pretty intense.
Yeah.
Where the rising motion will be out ahead of it. Any little minor changes could totally change everything, you know?
Oh, definitely, 100%.
Now let's look at the European. So here's the European model. Now this kicker system drops almost straight south. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right there. Now at that point, that energy is lagging back. Now my concern is that there are so many little short waves. Look at all those little short waves, all those little vorticities that could basically pop up precipitation unexpectedly. It's also a Baja blast, essentially, where you got a lot of energy that's coming in from Baja, which, by the way, I had a Baja blast this evening.
Did you get the new chicken nuggets?
Callie bought me one. No, did not. What, at Taco Bell?
Yeah.
No, are
They're
they
pretty
good?
good.
And then that energy swings in. Now that still looks like there could be more widespread snow across northwest Arkansas. So, honestly, I can see it. I can see it. And then finally, the HRRR. Let's look at this. Remember, the gridding isn't as great. There's that low that's dropping south. And I don't know. There's just so much energy, man. This is such a strong system. I don't think a dry slot is going to be as important for us. I just don't. Well, let's look at the upper air moisture, and we could look at the 500 millibar relative. See, there's not much of a dry slot. There it is right there. That does kind of nose in, but it's super elongated. Let's look at the European for a dry slot. Oh, that's gonna kill. That'll kill your totals right there.
I mean, but that's late Friday though.
Yeah, that's Friday
Or
Friday
late
morning. Okay, I bet you the GFS doesn't have
that kicker system.
Oh, now if that happens, that could be some thunder snow right there.
Whoa.
Let's look. Let's look at the Cape here. Oh, it doesn't have
Surface Cape.
Yeah, surface Cape. You're not going to see any of that. It would be mostly unstable. Let's go to pivotal real quick here. Stand back. Stand by here. Let me look here real fast. And in the meantime. So, which is more accurate in the past few years? Peyton, I'll let you answer that as I'm logging in here.
What model?
Yeah.
Oh, none of them.
Done. Okay.
No.
There's your answer.
There's your
Trash.
answer. Good night. Good bed. No, I mean, each model does different things. I highly recommend this weather blog or whatever that I wrote. This informational weather blog that teaches you about how weather models work. So basically, you take the initial conditions from all the observation sites around the country, buoys, just any data site that takes measurements in the atmosphere, and you plug that into these equations. These equations we had to learn a lot of by hand in school. Really sucks.
I remember those.
Yeah. So then you plug it in and run these out over time, basically. And to do that, you need partial differential equations. Remember that, Dan?
I do.
Yep.
I do.
probably not how to do it, but you remember doing it. And that's how weather models work. That's how you take conditions at point A and point B and move them into point C, point D. Yeah. And then each computer model is tweaked a little bit differently, and the grid spacing is a little different.
I don't see any instability, by the way.
Probably-
Just to
yeah.
let you know, I was
Probably
looking
boring
at
everyone to sleep.
no. I love it, man, because it's true. You got to know. There's a little bit of instability for Dallas on Thursday, so there could be some thunder snow in Dallas. Look at that. Let's look at
On
it.
the hill country.
So it's going to obviously be elevated. Yep, there you go. So that profile right there is rain. Yep, because you see that right there. But if we go forward a little bit in time, then you kind of lose your surface-based instability. Still rain. That's too far south. Yeah, let's go here. There's sleet and snow. So that's before. Well,
Sleet
that's
and snow.
that's because of precipitation. It has a little bit in the dendritic growth zone, but not a lot. And then we'll go forward in time here. Oh,
They need to change the color of the 0-degree ice in the -20.
yeah.
I feel it. Hard to see. Black and dark blue.
Let me go here. Click on Arkansas.
Nope.
Yeah, it's going. It's just slow.
Sure it is.
But then their brother is on here probably. I wish there was a loop for soundings. That's what I wish. That's what they need to change.
That's the one
One
pro
thing a
buff
buff
kit has.
Yep.
Got to dust off.
Okay,
the cobwebs.
here's Thursday morning. So we've got the dendritic growth zone that's happening. Let me bring this up here. Okay. So this is the model. And here we are Thursday, late morning, early afternoon. We're at rain. And now we're at that's freezing drizzle. That looks like snow to me.
Yeah, it looks like snow to me. The whole column's frozen.
Where are we? Right in Washington County. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, let's get back into here. Surface plot, precip type. What? Where did it go? There it is. All right. So right here, let's go 3 p.m. Nothing. What? There's snow.
There's snow.
Now that's definitely snow. That's definitely snow. That's definitely snow. So it might take a while for the onset to develop. So I don't think an early release for Northwest Arkansas, even with the GFS showing that. It just doesn't look realistic. Now let's look at I did want to look at the HRRR because it was showing precip coming in, but look, this is probably still too dry here. Aha. Dry, but not totally dry. This is where the snow really cranks up, though, right here. That's it. Yeah, that's when things will really start going downhill. So let's sum this all up and shut this Facebook Live down. Also check Canadian snow depth on Pivotal. All right, Alex, we'll do that.
Yo, look who that is.
What? We have
Commenting.
We have Wyatt.
Nope. A familiar face from KNWA.
Okay, hold on. What was I looking at now? I forgot.
Oh, Pivotal Weather.
The Canadian
GM.
Where is it?
Not there.
What?
Or, yeah, the
GDPS. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Let's look here. Man, that looks just nuts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here. Canadian GDPS. That's snow. That's Friday, early morning or midnight. Yeah, that's not very heavy at all. And that was just cranking out the snow totals,
Yeah.
already. So it seemed a little overdone. Going back here. And then that doesn't show a lot either. Well, Friday afternoon it'll start to dry out. Yeah. Huh. Let's see if it's got snow depth. Aha. Snow depth might be a whole lot different. Now, here's another thing, too, that I noticed with snow depth. And Peyton and I were looking at this. It already has like a half inch of snow on the ground, even like an inch and a half.
I know. Yeah.
So snow depth is already showing an inch and a half that's on the ground right now, which is not true. So, Philip, we will ask the 8-ball, but we'll give it a rest tonight. Tomorrow we'll do the 8-ball.
I think
As we
Josh
get
tied it out
closer.
this morning.
And
So he used it like 8 times.
hey, there's
so
the
top
familiar
up, yeah.
face. What's going on, Josh? Now on the right stream. Looks gross. That's awesome. What up, man? Okay, so let's sum it up real quick. So we've got a winter storm that's coming Thursday. It'll start snowing late Thursday morning in the River Valley, especially in southern LaFleur County, Scott County. It'll snow all day Thursday night into Friday morning. It'll start clearing out late Friday morning and moving out totally by Friday afternoon. River Valley to northwest Arkansas, you got lighter snow amounts in northwest Arkansas. You've got snow that starts probably in the early afternoon in northwest Arkansas, but doesn't really start getting bad until late Thursday night. Friday will continue to snow overnight Thursday into Friday morning. The precipitation amounts in terms of snowfall looks to be this. We're not changing this map yet. 1 to 2 inches across northwest Arkansas, 2 to 4 in parts of the northwest Arkansas to River Valley area, 4 to 6 in the River Valley and the Ouachitas, and then the Ouachitas picking up 6 to 8. So that's going to be those are going to be your totals across the area. So I think that about sums it up. Peyton, you're going to be going live Thursday. Tell them a little bit about that before we close this out.
Yeah, Thursday evening. Well, Thursday morning, driving down to the River Valley to do live shots Thursday evening as the snow is coming in and probably snow plows out there getting to work. But I'll be doing live shots down in the River Valley. So if you see somebody that looks crazy outside in the heavy snow, probably me.
Josh is asking about odds of Bentonville schools being closed. Friday, very good. Not necessarily Thursday. I don't think they're going to close Thursday.
It's going to be tough to get to school in the morning.
Friday is going to be not good. Bomb cyclone was a new weather word for me in 2024. They talked a lot about it. Any chance something like that impacting us with this storm? Probably not lowering that much.
No.
System is already digging, so it's still strengthening, but by the time it ejects, it'll start losing its pressure drop.
Yeah.
So they've already been spraying the roads like crazy. I saw that. Ooh, reporter Peyton is always a good time. So is the Wise Bagel joining our stream. So
Yeah.
So we'll do another update tomorrow. Josh will have an update in the morning right here on this Facebook Live and also on YouTube. And we'll have the latest model information. Again, there is a blog. I'll let you know exactly where to get it. So if you go to knwa.com, wait a little while until our site loads. No, hold on. It'll load.
NWA homepage.
Oh. Happened there. All right. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe no more KNWA. So
Also, learn more. No, it's not even sharing.
huh?
Is it sharing?
I will.
Oh.
Right here. So this is it. You go to nwahomepage.com and look at that, right smack dab on the front.
Nice.
You've got Turpentine Creek. And to the right of that, Weather Blog, written by Peyton, has the energy, has the system coming in. Also has been doing some videos on social media, on Instagram. Go ahead and check those out.
Winter weather safety guide.
Yep.
It's good stuff there,
Impacts.
too.
There's the impact severity index. That's going to change multiple times. And there's the explanation of the impacts. So, no thanks. Minor impacts, moderate impacts, and major impacts. So you've got minor, expect a few inconveniences to daily life. Moderate, hazardous driving conditions, use extra caution. Closures and disruptions to infrastructure may occur. Major impacts, dangerous or impossible driving conditions. Closures and disruptions, infrastructure may occur. And extremely dangerous. Travel is not advised. Extensive and widespread closures, life-saving actions may be needed. Guess who might be seeing that?
Not me.
Nope, not you.
not.
However, could be some areas in the river valley.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. If you see me out in the river valley Thursday nights, what are you doing?
Saying hi, maybe.
Yeah, say hi. Well, you should probably not be out there. Whoa.
Something's going on.
Okay, yeah,
there.
I don't know what's going on down there with the impacts.
Yeah, so let me show you here.
South
I'm going to
Central,
remove this. We're going to go back to the stream here, to the graphics. But there's the winter storm severity index, and there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on down here. This must be automated. I don't know. Interesting. But look at, there are some extreme impacts that are showing up. This is most likely because of ice. Major ice storm. Yeah, I heard about that, Miana. That's not good. And that was over Main Street. Roads are completely iced over because of it. That's no good. It's going to be a heavy wet snow because temperatures are going to be borderline freezing. And this will be a good snowpacking snow.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be able to pick it up and it'll literally form into a snowball.
And then turn into Nolan Ryan and just hurl it.
Oh, cool. I'm in meteorology school. My favorite hobby in the weather is always more to learn. Oh, absolutely. There's always.
Oh, yeah. Forever and ever.
Arkansas matters. Now that's Central Arkansas there, man. Free publicity. That's hilarious. Yep. All right. May you do from your weather authority team. Here's another weather live update for us.
From your weather authority team, here is a weather update.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That sounds just like it. All right.
You got to do it, though. I want you to do it.
From your weather authority team, here is a weather update. We will see you guys later. Have a good one. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow with more weather information. We'll give you more details on the timing. Take care, guys. Good to be back, and we'll see you tomorrow.